Obesity protects obesity. This observation by researcher Timothy Garvey gets to the heart of something known as the set point theory. According to this theory, your body has a genetically determined weight range, or set point, that it strives to maintain. When you stray outside of that range, your body triggers hormones that adjust your appetite and metabolism to rein you back in. Now, those adjustments work in both directions. However, because starvation is more of a threat than obesity, the mechanisms that prevent weight loss are stronger than those that prevent weight gain. In other words, it's harder to lose weight than it is to gain it. So are we doomed to live the life our genetics predetermined, or is this set point theory just that, a theory? While there's no denying that hormonal and metabolic factors play a role in weight control, most researchers consider the set point theory to be oversimplified, failing to take into consideration social, nutritional, and environmental factors. After all, we all know someone, me included, who has lost weight and maintained that weight loss for years. In fact, starting in the 1990s, the National Weight Control Registry made it its mission to identify and investigate the characteristics of individuals who have succeeded at long-term weight loss. In this video, we'll review the common characteristics shared by the 10,000 successful maintainers in that registry that ensure the weight they lost stays off. Since its start in 1994, the National Weight Control Registry has published research about the strategies used by those who have achieved long-term weight loss. While the number of studies published dropped off in 2016, the analysis still reveals plenty of insights into the eating and exercise habits the individuals use to lose weight and the behavioral strategies they use to maintain their weight. Requirements for membership include being over the age of 18 and having maintained at least a 30-pound weight loss for 1 year or longer. The majority of members are women, and the average woman is 45 years of age, whereas the average man is 49. And while there was quite a bit of diversity in regards to how much weight members lost, how long they maintained, and how quickly they shed the pounds, on average, registry members lost 66 pounds and kept that weight off for more than 5 years. While the National Weight Control Registry's research focused on how members maintain weight loss, it also shared insights into how they lost weight in the first place. When it came to losing weight, a little over half of the members did so with the help of a formal plan. The remainder lost weight on their own. But regardless of which path they took, diet and exercise were key, with 98% of registry participants reporting that they modified their food intake and 94% stating that they increased their exercise. In subjects who reported modifying their food intake, the 3 most widely used methods were to limit their intake of a certain type or class of food, to limit quantities of food eaten, and to count calories. Exercise strategies varied, but walking was the most frequently reported activity, followed by weightlifting, cycling, and aerobics. And I will add that an interesting aspect of the weight loss data showed that nearly 77% of the registry reported that at least one triggering event or incident preceded their successful weight loss. The triggering events were separated into categories, with the main ones being medical, meaning there was some health issue that persuaded the individual to lose weight; emotional, meaning there was an uncomfortable event that prompted their decision; and lifestyle, such as an upcoming wedding or anniversary. To keep the weight off, the research staff identified 4 key components. The members continued to exercise and watch their diets. They also self-monitored their weight and followed a consistent eating pattern across weekdays and weekends. So let's look at some specifics. When it came to exercising for weight loss maintenance, women in the registry reported expending more than 2,500 calories per week in physical activity, and men reported an average of more than 3,000. These levels of activity represent about 1 hour a day of moderately intense activity, such as brisk walking. In fact, the most common activity was walking, followed by weightlifting, cycling, and aerobics. To maintain weight loss, members continued to eat a lower calorie diet. Now, what does that mean? Well, the study did not provide specifics on body size or composition. However, I crunched some numbers based on their data and found that the average woman maintained her weight by consuming roughly 1,800 calories per day, and the average man was likely consuming 2,400 per day. Weight loss maintainers were also more likely to limit fat in their daily diet. Now, if you watch my channel, you know that I have tried low-fat diets in the past and now eat a high-fat, low-carb diet. I was able to lose weight with both diets, but I never had years of what I would describe as fairly easy maintenance until I increased my fat intake. The fat content of my diet provides a lot of hunger satisfaction, and the low-carb aspect naturally removes quick-digesting carbs like the 3 C's, cookies, cakes, and candies, keeping cravings under control. So why did members of the National Weight Control Registry find success with low-fat diets? In my view, there are 2 explanations. First, there is more than one way to lose weight. The one that is right for you is the one that fits your life. Second, while there is some great data to be harvested from this registry, findings were published between 1994 and 2016 when low-fat dieting was the prevailing trend. To their credit, the registry conducted a study featuring low-carb dieters, showing that it is possible to achieve and maintain long-term weight loss using a low-carb, high-fat diet. Registry members also reported frequent monitoring of their weight. More than 44% reported weighing themselves at least once a day, and 31% reported weighing themselves at least once a week. By frequently checking in on their weight, registry members were able to catch small weight changes and take action before they turned into large regains. And there was one characteristic common among successful weight loss maintainers that we don't often hear about, which is dieting consistency. The research staff found that most participants reported that their eating was the same on weekends and weekdays. In fact, the results indicated that participants who reported a consistent diet across the week were 1.5 times more likely to maintain their weight within 5 pounds over the subsequent year than participants who took some liberties on the weekends and dieted more strictly on the weekdays. I want to end with this thought. When asked to rate the difficulty of their successful weight loss, almost 43% described it as hard, and more than 31% described their achievement as moderately hard. However, when it came to weight maintenance, members reported it as being less difficult. About 1/3 of the sample rated weight maintenance as easy, and more than 37% rated it as moderately easy. On top of that, once those individuals maintained their weight loss for at least 2 years, their chances of longer-term success greatly increased, reducing their risk of regaining the weight by nearly 50%. So the moral of the story is that you have to work to get there, but it gets easier, and the rewards are great. At least 85% of the registrants reported improvements in their general quality of life, level of energy, physical mobility, general mood, self-confidence, and physical health. From the information gathered by the National Weight Control Registry, we see that losing weight can be done on your own or with the help of a formal program. However, there must be some limitations imposed on your diet. It also helps to increase your physical activity level, and while it might not be necessary, having a triggering event helps to get the ball rolling. As for weight maintenance, dietary limitations and exercise remain important, and you increase your odds of success by frequently monitoring your weight and keeping your weekend eating under control. Now let's hear from you. Have you lost weight and kept it off for at least a year? If so, share whatever details you feel comfortable sharing, from how much you lost to how you did it to whether or not maintaining the loss has gotten easier with time. Your comments and encouragement could make all the difference for someone who is just getting started. Thanks for watching. If you'd like a simple guide to losing weight, I encourage you to download my 0123 strategy. It is a free one-page plan that is already being used by more than 200,000 people. It shares 4 daily habits that I like to say give your body no choice but to lose weight. I will leave a link in the description area, or you can click on the icon below me. Have a great rest of your day.